Good evening, I'm Salim Valji.
And I'm Thomas Simon. Tonight on Concordia News.
The Zika virus. Just how worried are people about traveling to Brazil this summer?
The growing controversy in Quebec over the lack of opportunity for non-white actors and the use of blackface.
Marianopolis students producing a play for a new generation. The 20th anniversary of the Vagina Monologues.
A new poll says that Canadians are pretty happy. How about Montrealers?
The Zika virus has been around since 1940 and first appeared in Africa, but only recently did it make its way to the Americas. Right now, about 1 in 5 people infected with the mosquito-transmitted virus become ill. Symptoms of the Zika virus include muscle and joint pain, fever, rashes, and red eyes. Evidence has also surfaced that shows a link between the Zika virus and a birth defect called microcephaly. This causes children to be born with abnormally small heads and can cause problems with brain development. Brazil has seen a rise in microcephaly in babies in the last year. This comes around the same time that the country has seen a rise in people infected with the Zika virus. Even some Olympic athletes are reconsidering their participation in the upcoming Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Our Matthew Shanahan has more on that story. So Matthew, how worried should we be?
Well, Salim, almost 4,000 cases of the Zika virus have been diagnosed in Brazil, and the World Health Organization says that vaccines are at least 18 months away. Andrea dos Santos left Brazil for Montreal 2 years ago. She hasn't seen her family since, and that's why she's excited to be going back in May for 2 weeks. Right now, the Zika virus hasn't stopped her from canceling her trip.
Je n'ai pas peur du virus Zika parce que je n'ai pas enceinte. Je ne pense pas tomber enceinte aussi.
Her husband, Rafael Rodriguez, is also Brazilian, and he'll be joining her on the trip. For him, the lack of information we have on this virus is quite concerning.
We really don't know many things about this disease. It's something new, and we're not planning to have kids now, but we also don't know how long it could affect the body of my wife. So I'm not worried now, but I'm worried what can happen in the future. So it scares me a little bit, but we still go to Brazil, have things to do, have people to see. So I'm worried, in fact.
Dos Santos might not be scared about getting infected while she's back home, but worrying about family in Brazil is inevitable, especially if you know someone who is pregnant.
Ma cousine, elle est enceinte maintenant. Elle a vraiment peur à cause que pour avoir un problème avec ton enfant. Il n'y a pas un vaccin, un médicament, donc le docteur dit qu'elle doit utiliser le anti-mosquite et y avoir la chance.
Caring for patients infected with the Zika virus could pose a problem in Brazil. According to The Economist, like here in Quebec, there is a doctor shortage in Brazil, and as Dos Santos explains, some of those doctors are not necessarily there because they care about your health.
Au Brésil, il y a des facilités un peu pour faire des examens. Par contre, pour avoir un médecin public, c'est difficile. Il y a beaucoup de médecins qui existent juste pour recevoir l'argent, mais ils n'est pas là pour travailler. Donc, manque le médecin. Il y a des médecins, mais manque de médecins.
With the Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro only a few months away, many athletes are also concerned about their safety. For example, Hope Solo, the goaltender for the U.S. women's soccer team, said she would not go to Rio if the Olympics started today. Julie Chu is a 4-time Olympian with the U.S. national hockey team. Like most people, she doesn't know much about the Zika virus just yet. Still, she knows the U.S. Olympic Committee is doing everything they can to inform themselves on the situation to ensure athlete safety.
The security of the athletes and the staff and anyone there is a huge priority of not only the International Olympic Committee, but each Olympic Committee. So our U.S. Olympic Committee that's their focus. Like, they really want to make sure that their athletes are taken care of. The good thing about being in a team sport is that we have the opportunity to have some amazing resources around us, because you have 21 players that are on the team plus all these staff, so you have to make sure that you have great resources to support all those individuals. I know as athletes, it's easy. Like, we're in this bubble. I never in any of my Olympics ever felt in danger. There might have been a lot going on behind the scenes, maybe I didn't know, but I always felt like I can be there and feel supported and feel like I was part of something that was absolutely amazing.
Allison Kelvin is the Scientific Projects Director for the Mars Discovery District's Immune Diagnostics and Research in Toronto. She, along with Toronto's University Health Network, developed a smartphone app for healthcare workers and patients. The purpose of the app is to help track the number of cases of the virus.
So we developed it with help from some researchers from Brazil, as well as a group called MWater. It was developed with the idea of collecting data or case information, because the virus is moving so fast, it's hard for authorities to keep track of the number of cases. The app is a web-based app for your smartphone. Basically, it's a questionnaire that asks either the healthcare provider or patient, are you interested in reporting a Zika case? Once you've confirmed that you want to be part of the study, then the study moves on and asks you questions. Are you reporting a confirmed case or a suspected case?
No one knows much about the Zika virus just yet. It's with this uncertainty that many people aren't sure how to react. Until then, it's hard to tell how worried people should be. Matthew Shanahan, Concordia News, Toronto.
Several prominent actors and filmmakers recently boycotted the 88th Oscars due to its lack of diversity. Here in Quebec, the entertainment industry had its own controversy when comedian Louis Morissette railed against people who complained about the use of blackface, even comparing them to mosquitoes. Spokesperson for Québec Inclusif, Émilie Nicolas, started a petition called Les Moustiques to ban the use of blackface in Quebec. Our own Sean Michaud reports.
The lack of diversity in Hollywood caused a stir at the Oscars this year. Meanwhile, in Quebec, Bye Bye 2015 showrunner Louis Morissette wrote an angry letter to people who forced him to hire a black actor to portray a black character. Morissette wanted to employ a white actor in blackface, citing budget constraints. He called his detractors Les Moustiques. In response, a group calling themselves Les Moustiques launched an online petition calling for the ban of blackface in Quebec, more opportunities for women and people of color, government inquiries to fight discrimination, and a public apology from Louis Morissette. I met with Émilie Nicolas. She launched the petition. The PhD candidate in anthropology at the University of Toronto is also the spokesperson for Québec Inclusif, an NGO dedicated to social tolerance.
Blackface is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's a symbol. It's a symbol of, humiliation and disrespect and not being listened to. It's a symbol of mocking our intelligence. It's a symbol of dismissing our history.
Starting in the 19th century, amidst rampant segregation, American entertainers painted themselves black to appropriate and ridicule African American culture. Quebec blackface apologists say the practice is harmful only in an American historical context.
When people like Louis Morissette do it, that's everything that it symbolizes. It's beyond the classic blackface, because a symbol always evolves and it changes meaning with each instance in which it is reproduced. And right now, what blackface means in Quebec is just people being deaf, not listening, not paying attention, and people thinking it's too hard to hire a black guy. People thinking that white people can do and play every character, but black people cannot. And this is why we need to speak from social media, because that's the only platform we're given.
In the controversy, Louis Morissette appeared at Tout le monde en parle. He agreed with all Les Moustiques' demands except one. He refused to apologize. He defended himself, claiming there weren't enough black actors in Quebec to start with.
If you need to depict a reporter, hey, that reporter could be an Asian Quebecer. Why not, right? Like, why isn't the janitor and the teacher reflective of the demographics that you live in? It's not that complicated.
Tamara Brown is a performer at the Black Theater Workshop. She challenges the notion that blackface is solely an American phenomenon.
We can ignore, all of these things that happen to people of color right here in Quebec. Pregnant women getting slammed on the floor, on the ground in NDG by cops. These things happen all the time and we don't talk about it because it's easier to forget than to confront that we have our own problematic history. It's so easy to compare ourselves with the United States. If you erase people of color, then their problems can become irrelevant. We can be just nothing more than annoying little mosquitoes buzzing about, what about me? What about my story? What about my place?
Normand Brathwaite, the actor who portrayed the disgraced journalist François Bouguengo in Bye Bye 2015, later called the Black Coalition of Quebec 4N-word and a fax machine. He tried to explain himself on the Black community radio station.
People have often told me I don't like black people, but I like you. For me, it's the first step.
It wasn't his first time courting controversy.
His first job was given to him by Denise Filiatro. And Denise Filiatro is a person last year. She's the head of the Rideau Vert Theater, who did a Piqué Subban blackface and said she'd never done blackface in her life and that wasn't real blackface and blah blah. She was so insulted because she has a black friend, Normand Brathwaite.
Brathwaite's first job was at Denise Filiatro's year-end gala of 1980. Nicolas sent us a link to the footage.
Actually, what you find out is that you have Normand Brathwaite basically making a clown of himself, but also making a clown of himself in an actual blackface style in this video where he's completely painted, his skin is painted in black and he has this huge, white smile. He's giving himself this fake Haitian accent. Normand is not Haitian, so he's just getting a job by laughing at Haitians. I think it says a lot.
He makes me profoundly angry and sad all at the same time.
You don't want to hire black people. What's your problem? You're racist. That is not the case. I admit I found the last 10 days difficult.
In the conversations about blackface, it's a lot about how white people feel about this and the difficulties that it creates for them. We're just talking about our pain. We're just talking about the mockery, the trauma that this raises. But no, let's talk about how we've made you feel.
So when Louis Morissette calls people mosquitoes, it's not just about, oh my god, he used the word mosquitoes. It's just that it's just the last drop in the glass, that makes the glass spill. It's the cherry on top of it all. And if you do not see what's underneath it all, you do not understand the reaction of anger that's been going on in the last couple of weeks.
The petition aims for 2,000 signatures and is still ongoing. Sean Michaud, Concordia News.
This February marks the 20th anniversary of the Vagina Monologues and the 18th anniversary of V-Day, a non-profit movement that has raised millions for groups working to end violence against women. Students at Marianopolis College are putting on a play to spread the message to a younger generation. Alexa Everett has more.
There's one line in the monologue. She says, "We forget the vagina." What else would explain our lack of awe, our lack of reverence?
Eve Ensler's Vagina Monologues are speaking to a new generation of women. To celebrate its 20th anniversary, Marianopolis College students are producing the play. 13 female students will be performing monologues about birth, sex, genital mutilation, and other taboo topics. This is the only Montreal production being performed this year for V-Day, an annual observance held in the month of February to end violence against girls and women worldwide. Some Marianopolis students are hoping to learn from the monologues, while others are taking part in the play to express how they feel about feminism, gender inequality, and the status of women.
My vagina's angry. It is. It's pissed off.
Bu Yiding immigrated from China 5 years ago. She's participating in the play to establish her feminist views, even if her traditional parents disagree with her stance.
Thong underwear, that's the worst. Thong underwear.
My parents still have the mind of Chinese mind, but I think they can accept it, but they're just gonna be really a little bit uncomfortable. Even they find out I'm not really scared or something, because I know what I'm doing, I'm proud of what I'm doing.
The monologues have been a transformative experience for the actors in the play, but initially, some students were scared of being judged by their peers when they joined the production.
Actually, I wasn't fully gung-ho about this experience the whole time. When my teacher first approached me, I was like, okay. And I phoned my father the following day, and I was like, listen, I need to get a male opinion. I'm seriously concerned that participating in this production will turn guys off, and they'll think, oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit concerned people would think I was a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I just, didn't want to, have that title.
Remembering those tragic experiences.
Tensions can run high in a performance as intimate as the vagina monologues. Although quite simple, the production carries a heavy meaning.
Listen to me. I'm being serious. Put away your phone right now.
Personally, I think there should be no difference between male and female, as a stereotype of boys and girls, girls like dolls, boys are more violent, games. I think there should be anything like that. My parents think that's a little bit too extreme, but she supports the equality between men and women.
The production will take place on February 27th at 2 p.m. in St. James Church. This is Alexa Everett for Concordia News.
According to a new poll, most Canadians are pretty happy. The Angus Reid Institute surveyed over 1,500 Canadian adults from across the country this December. 16% said they were very happy, 18% said they were not too happy, but the majority agreed that they were somewhere in the middle. BC and Quebec are the happiest provinces in the country. The Concordia News team asked a few Montrealers where they fit on the spectrum.
Yes, I am a happy Montrealer.
What makes you happy about Montreal?
I love the diversity. There's a lot of different ethnicity. I'm from Portugal, so it helps to talk with people, to integrate.
I have nice friends, nice food. Pretty much. The only time I'm not happy when I'm in Montreal, I guess I'd say it's traffic.
I don't know if it's the city that necessarily makes me happy, because happiness is not derived from where you live. It's from my psychology background. Happiness is subjective. It's how you think about things and how you relate to your environment.
My family. My family, I guess, what keeps me happy. I would say what we do in terms of the outings that we decide to do, my friends, that keep me driven. If I'm talking about what to do in Quebec, it's an absolutely beautiful province. There's a lot to see, sightseeing, activities to do. We have 4 seasons. Nowhere else in the country has that. The world has that. So it's pretty much different activities to enjoy. And I have a pretty positive mind too. So that keeps me going on to be a happy person.
So Salim, are you a happy Montrealer?
Absolutely. This is the world's greatest city. I'm Salim Valji. Thanks for spending your evening with us.
I'm Thomas Small. Have a great night and a very happy week.